Η κυρία Πεζαντάκου έχει μπει.
Από όσο βλέπω, όχι.
Άρα να περιμένουμε λίγο ακόμα.
Ναι, ναι.
Ναι, εντάξει, είναι και 57.
Εντάξει. Πιο πολύ για να τεστάρουμε
Ναι.
την παρουσίαση ότι θα δουλέψει.
Σωστό.
Μου δίνετε ένα λεπτό, Έλληνα, αν μπει η κυρία Πεζαντάκου για την παρουσίαση, μπορείς λίγο να
Ναι,
συνεχίσεις.
ναι.
Ευχαριστώ.
Παίρνω τηλέφωνο. Τι λες?
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to all participants. We need to wait for a few minutes for our speaker, Ms. Pezentakou, to connect. So I would kindly ask for your patience for just 1-2 minutes, please. Thank you.
I think that Mrs. Bezantakou is now connected.
Danai, can you hear us?
Yes, yes, yes.
Super. Okay. So the issue is solved. I turn on the camera now.
Great. Yes,
Miss
this is solved.
Vajoni Natalie is with us. Super. And Miss Bezantakou Dana is with us. Great. So we can officially start. First of all, I wanted to mention that the webinar is recorded. So please, if there is any objection to that, kindly let us know.
We're good, thank you.
Super. Otherwise, we can proceed. So just give me a moment. Okay. Also, please, if there are any questions, you can write them in the chat on the right. And we can officially now start the webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to be here with you today to moderate an extremely interesting webinar on women entrepreneurship, hosted by InnoAgora. InnoAgora is managed by the Innovation Department of HDB, so of the Hellenic Development Bank, whom I would like also to thank for helping to organize this webinar. InnoAgora is a free of charge networking and matchmaking platform designed to connect startups, scale-ups, investors, and business support organizations. It is powered by the Hellenic Development Bank and operates as part of EuroEquity, a broader European initiative by the French National Development Bank, BPI France, and VNext. VNext is an investment and matchmaking platform developed by the Shenzhen Stock Exchange in China. I would also like to thank our speakers and exceptional representatives of women entrepreneurship for being here with us today. Ms. Danai Bezantakou, the CEO of Navigator Shipping Consultants and President of the Greek mentoring network I4U, and Ms. Natalie Vajoni, the CEO of Freshline Natural Cosmetics. Thank you for your participation. Regarding today's topic, it is important to highlight that the presence of women in entrepreneurship and in the labor market in general continues to show a significant divergence compared to men worldwide. It is estimated that the employment gap between men and women costs the European Union approximately 370 billion euros annually. According to the most recent ICAP study on women entrepreneurship, in 2024, out of a total sample of approximately 74,000 businesses, 27% is being led by women senior executives. According to several studies, the participation of women in decision-making bodies leads to better economic results. Research shows that women in leadership positions utilize skills related to emotional intelligence, communication, building relations, creative thinking, and insight to others' challenges. Moreover, according to a World Bank study, companies with gender-diverse boards of directors have better ESG performance, stronger internal control mechanisms, greater stakeholder engagement, a better work environment, and a more positive reputation. All the above suggest that supporting women entrepreneurship has multiple benefits for the economy and the society as a whole. So increasing the participation of women in businesses is not only a need, but it can also ensure the long-term success and development of these businesses. Coming now straight to the point of today's thematic, Ms. Vaioni and Ms. Bezantakou, we will start with the first question. As female CEOs, what unique challenges have you faced and how have they shaped your company's journey? Let's start with Ms. Vaioni.
Thank you, Maria. And again, thank you for the invitation. It's always good to talk about female entrepreneurship and all. Well, leading a family business, especially in Greece, comes with different and multiple cultural and operational challenges. The child becomes the leader, and it's even more difficult, I would say, when the child is a girl. So it does require redefining dynamics, and I had to assert myself not as the daughter, but the leader who has a vision, not the child, but the responsible, accountable executive, someone who can make decision, who's solid, and it had to do about setting boundaries, fighting to gain respect, fighting to be heard, and sometimes making tough decisions, especially when you have to prioritize the future of the business over family comfort. So for Freshline, I think it has taught us the power of blending heritage with modernity and with the future. And to me, I think that the best guide in order to do that, to blend this successfully, is always follow your values. That's the best compass someone can have. So that's very short, but I think I would sum it up.
Thank you very much. Value-based approach is very important in everything that we do. Ms. Bezantakou, let's come to you. You have also presentation to show us, and I want to also ask additionally to this question about your work in I4U.
Yes, first of all, the challenges, I am coming from a family with 4 daughters, a mother that is working with my captain father for 50 years. They are together even when they were employees in Martino's family, and then when they created their own companies. So there was no other option than being the next generation. My challenge was to bring to our company the non-profit stamp. I mean, my family was always open to give to the society, but we were not having a stamp like creating a non-profit organization, having the results, measurable results of what we achieve. And that was my challenge, to convince the previous generation, basically my father, because my mother was always open-minded and still is, to understand that we have to create also the non-profit companies, that we have to pay for them and they will bring this result long-term for also the society and not only our company. What I have faced when I came in our company was that we're working from the morning to the night. This has never changed. It is key. It is still like this. But we had to bring these values. And that was the only challenge. But I don't think that it was a female challenge. It would be also for a man in a company. I think that was a generation, a different mentality of generation. And that is where I4U is coming, because my first approach with the non-profit world was through my participation as the Greek representative of the Women in Leadership program in Hillary Clinton's program, Women in Leadership, of the State Department back in 2011. And then when I came back, with another, coming in contact with another 7 women entrepreneurs that we have been in a Microsoft's program, Invest for the Future, 2 months before in Istanbul, in Turkey, was that as women, we were not promoting ourselves professionally. I mean, we were discussing about the family, about the issues we're having, but not about what we are feeling happy to go to our offices and to create great things. And that the previous generation, that was also for women and men, that the previous generation was not, let's say, passing the knowledge to the next generation in early stages. Here in Greece, we were hearing many times people of 50 and 60 years old that they were young to take over the companies. And don't laugh with this, but it was happening. In shipping especially, it was happening a lot. This is changing because with the AI, with the technology, we see now that all the generations are needed for this great challenge we're having, which is called climate crisis. And we started I4U, the first Greek mentoring network, when I came from the program of the State Department. And we have created 100 mentoring couples with small and medium women entrepreneurs and men and women from the business world that were meeting once per month, face to face. That was not online back then, and it was better, if you ask me, face to face, discussing about challenges. And of course, I will make some presentation. I will present some of these findings in my presentation. But what we have found out, and I was also in an event of the Central Bank before yesterday with Marie, and we discussed this, is that women do not need so much the financial support. Of course we do, but initially is the general support of the society. So to fight with the stereotypes and with some values that the people have in their minds, that the women cannot become entrepreneurs or pilots or captains or, you know, these stereotypes.
Dana, do you want to show us your presentation at this point so that we move on with the discussion and with Natalie?
Are you seeing my screen?
Yes. Yes,
Great,
we do.
nice. So very quickly to start saying, I am Dana, CEO of Navigator Shipping Consultants. Our family is also in tourism with KFSA, the travel agency, and Matilda Hotel. Non-profit, I'm running Yes Forum, which is the platform of open dialogue between school and university students and shipping executives. I4U, that we mentioned. I'm president of the Hellenic US Alumni Association of the State Department programs. First vice president of Propeller Club, which is the biggest business shipping club with more than 1,100 members. And I have been chosen Young Global Leader in World Economic Forum in 2015 and European Young Leader in 2013. This is I4U that we mentioned before. We are, the last 2 years, we're doing a lot of brainstorming of finding the next steps. And we finally decided that a very big, a very important step that the women must do is to have a digital seminar about empowering digital skills. And this is the AI4U program powered by Microsoft. So we will try to help 1,600 women by offering them free seminars on these programs. And they can do all the seminars, they can have also a certificate, and then we will work with them to see the next step. I used to be also head of WISTA HR committee for 2 years. WISTA is the biggest women in shipping and trading association, international association, the biggest association of women in shipping in the world. I am judge of the Greek International Women Awards, and I am head of the education committee of the ICC Women Hellas. What we have observed is that the 3 problems of the women is the wage gap, the stereotypes, and the dilemma of career and maternity or caregiving, because even if we do not become mothers, we still have the dilemma we still have to take care of the family. These are the numbers of the wage differences by age. Okay, so you see that there is a wage gap all over the world. And before yesterday in the event that was organized about the women empowerment and to finance women entrepreneurs, we have also heard that in the economy, women will finally meet the men financially in 257 years. In around 100 years, this will be probable for the education and the health, but for the economy, unfortunately, we have long way to run. These are the stereotypes, and you see what people believe. The blue is the men, the red is the women. So you see that people do not believe that women can be in surgeons, banks, IT, mayors, commercial managers, financial managers, and it's better to be beauty, secretarial support, teachers, nurses, marketing, communication. But what I have seen from my personal experience, and because I had always have a man and a woman as my managers, my mother and my father, I have seen that the skills, the characteristics between the two genders are different. So at the end, we can create a great business plan. So I don't understand why we are fighting between men and women entrepreneurship when we can bring them together and have a great result. Here is the challenges of the career and motherhood. We see that women are having it's 5 to 8 times more likely to be professionally affected by caregiving responsibilities, and unfortunately they delay to have kids as the years are passing. Greek shipping in numbers and the position of women, because I'm in Greek shipping. Greek shipping, we're very proud to say that Greece is #1 in the world, #2 China, #3 Japan, #4 Singapore, #5 Hong Kong. So we're the only non-Asian country in the top 5. We're managing 20% of the worldwide trading, 60% of the European, and 90% of the world trade is carried by ships. Of course, shipping can give a lot of jobs in Greece and in Europe. In Europe, we're controlling more than 60% and the majority of all the kind of vessels. 80% of bulk carriers, 75% of oil tankers, 82% in the LNGs. So in a world covered with water, 70%, the trade is happening 90% by sea, and shipping is not polluting the environment, is important to say. Women in shipping, we are very happy and proud to have for second round president of the Union of Greek Ship Owners. Last week, Mrs. Melina Travlos has been voted for second time president of the Union of Greek Ship Owners, the biggest union of the world. Elpi Petraki also is the president of the WISTA International, not WISTA Greece. So we also have a Greek there, and Semira Mispaliou, again, president of Intermepa, and Helmepa and Intermepa. Eleni Polychromopoulou, president of Helmexpo, and myself as the propeller. So can the number of women entering the shipping industry increase in the next decade? Yes, they can increase. Unfortunately, very low percentage of women on board, but it is increasing more and more. And in Greece, we're doing very well. We have to create the appropriate conditions. I just want to say that in one of the captain school in Inouses Islands, they're doing some changes now as we talk for the women's restrooms and places to stay. Until now, it was only for men. So the conclusion is that the balance between genders is key. I mean, we have the problems, the climate crisis and the demographic, as I mentioned before. In Europe, unfortunately, we have it more and more. Greece is #2 oldest country with the oldest people in Europe. And unfortunately, 2022 has been a very bad year with 75,000 births and 150,000 deaths. And unfortunately, the births are decreasing, and the births are decreasing, and the deaths are increasing. How do we react? We have created Yes Forum because we're having all of these problems. So we are getting into the schools. We're doing the Day of Youth in Posidonia, the biggest exhibition in Greece, mentoring programs, opening career days, and of course we have issued a book about shipping and we are handing it to the students. We are traveling all over Greece to promote this. We're doing open days, as I said, and career days that we speak about CVs. And what we propose now, because it's good also to have some discussion, is that it's important the networking, it's important the women to support each other. For us, the number one of all is to inform the next generation, the new generation. I was yesterday, almost every day I visit a school and I speak. Yesterday, I was in an elementary school in Haidari. This is around Athens. And the kids, when they see me talking about shipping, they don't see the woman. They see a passionate person that is doing great, that feels great for what he or she is doing. So this is why we believe that it's important to empower the women with success stories, with the good, with the positive stories. And of course, it's very, very important to develop our digital skills, because if we don't do, the wage gap will be bigger. So at this point, I would like to stop sharing. I know that I ran a lot the presentation because I think it's good to have a discussion and to make the questions.
Exactly.
And this is where sometimes I'm running.
No, it was great. Actually, your passion a bit also helped us think even more and broader. So important what you highlighted, I think, for the conditions and the framework, I would say, to help women flourish, and also for the education. And actually, I believe also education is important to achieve inclusion, greater inclusion. And I'm going now to the second question, which more or less actually you replied, but I want also to hear the opinion of Natalie, of Miss Vaioni. What's the biggest misconception about female entrepreneurs, and how do you address it? Misconception can be also related to stereotypes, of course. Natalie.
First of all, I think we all congratulate Danai on the legacy that she's building. I wish that we had, I think we would be living in a greater world, a better world, if we had more Danais in it, for sure.
You are also doing many things, and we're not here to sit for each other, but it's also
no,
to have the supporters.
It's a very important.
They
exactly,
also
it's very important thing, because I think, and this is what also, this is how it's exactly like Danai said before. This is how you tackle the challenges. You create a very strong support system. So on the misconceptions about film entrepreneurs, Maria, as I've told you before, first of all, I disagree completely with the term female entrepreneur, because we don't have female captains, we don't have female doctors, we don't have female anything, and suddenly we have female entrepreneurs. From that, we start with a misconception, because it's something different to be a man entrepreneur, a male entrepreneur, and a female entrepreneur. And there are many stereotypes. I do hate stereotypes. And usually it's about women, they're softer and they're more risk averse, or I don't know, because I try never to address them. I started young, and because I was also young, I was also prejudiced because I was young, exactly like Danai said, because I was like the child, you're too young to do anything. But I mean, who would have thought that Margaret Thatcher would do the job that no one else did in the UK when it had to be done? So she was tough. She was tougher even than other great British leaders. And I think that, I don't know, with misconception, I think my way of addressing it all these years was, like you do, I don't know, like you do in meditation. You focus on yourself. You don't listen to the voices. I didn't want to be misled by anyone's misconception or anyone's beliefs. You always prove everyone wrong when you focus on yourself. You are focused on your work, your results, and it's true, it's a bit cheesy, but success does speak louder than any stereotype. So focus, that would be my way of addressing any misconception that I've been dealing with my whole life. And to be very honest, I think that's one of the misconceptions led me when I was young, because I was supposed to be pretty and get married very young, never bring the results at work. So I think this is why I chose to study math, because by studying math, going into a Bachelor of Science, that would prove that I'm not stupid. That would prove I'm not just pretty. So this was my way of dealing with misconception, and that's me. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you. Focus, results oriented, success, keywords, very important words. Dana, do you want to add something on that?
No, I fully agree. You know, this morning, yesterday I had a bad incident. While I was in the car, they broke my the car glass, and they took my bag. So this morning, yes, it was.
Are you okay? You're okay.
My car has a new glass. I will have new ID, new cards. Yes. Okay.
And you're here with us today. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course, I would not cancel it for nothing in the world. I just had to run about the glass and in the bags this morning, and I went to one of the banks. I will not do any, any advertisement, but they had a fresh line product there. So I did my hands and they said, so nice. Today I will have online with the owner. And in the bank, they were laughing. They were saying, okay, with you, you always see something positive in everything negative. So very, very important is this, to see the positive even when negative things are happening. My family is also having a very bad 4 months period because our father is out of the office. He's in a serious condition. He was 20 months in the hospital, and now he is at home, but it will take months or years to recover. And it happened from one day to another. And sometimes when they were telling me, I have a problem in my family, my mother is in the hospital, or my father is in the hospital, I was saying, okay, I understand, because I was not been through this. Now that I have been, when they tell me, I say, and of course you have to be there, but you must also continue. Life has to continue. Of course you have to be there and to feel and to support, and the family to be together, because this is what makes us strong worldwide. The Greek family, the bonding, the values, this is very, very important, and we have to keep it. And this is why I insist that we have to support the women to have kids, because we also have here an associate that she finally made it to be pregnant after 2 years of trying, and we were all so happy. Instead of saying, she will leave in a few months, never mind, she will leave and she will come back, and this is great, and she will come back in a more nicer way, because she will have to produce for more people in this world. So let's see the positive side, even when the things are not so great, and take strength from this. And then you will tell me, okay, the fresh line product made you like this, a superwoman. No, but it was a coincidence that I laughed. I said, look, sometimes some messages that are coming, because the first thing I went to the bank to change my first card in the banks that I would go was a fresh line product. So I think that it's very important to find something good and happy, even when the days are not so great.
Ladies, how do you approach risk taking? And what's the most valuable lesson you've learned from failure? You can give us also one example if you want. Natalie?
Would do for me, risk taking. I was trying at trying to. Risk for me is always having done your homework very well. So it has to do about research. It has to be about numbers and data. I think that we need to be data driven. And the one thing that will never lie usually are the numbers. The numbers never lie. And I always think that entrepreneurs have their own special instinct. Even with, I have this client, we make her private label. And she came to me from day one. She honored me in working with me in creating her own cosmetic line. And she was asking me, and what do you think, Natalie? You have the experience, and what to do with this and what to do with that. And I always replied, it's your baby, it's your product. You need to follow your instinct. So I think, yes, it has to do a balance between mind, research, data, numbers, but also the instinct, because it has to do also with the vision, that it's your compass that it's talking. And this, to me, again, I will mention meditation, because it usually helps us focus also to what you're saying inside, and not the little voices that you have all over the place and next to you from the society. With failures, well, I've had, thank God, I've had many failures. And I remember my niece one time, she said to her father, aged 14, Dad, 2 and 3 times, it's not a mistake, it's a fault, it's a pattern. And I was like, oh my God. So failures, growing up, because I was very hard on myself and I didn't like failures, I didn't like mistakes, and I certainly did not like faulty behaviors. But I realized that does not serve me well. That attitude does not do me, that behavior is not very good for me. It's a trial and error. We're here always trying and seeing what's error and what's success. So it's a learning process. It's a process, and you need to trust that process. So what I learned is that there's no failure, and everything happens for a reason, and it's a very good reason. And it's always, and that's my motto after a while. And actually, one time someone asked me that, but that's the way of you. I mean, he was like, that's a way of thinking. You have created that way of thinking. And I was like, what? That's what it is. At the end of the day, it's not what happens to you, because look at Danai. Someone else in Danai's position would be like, oh my God, I had my car, but I'm not feeling well, and my father is in the house, and he's not. No. You need to stay calm, stay focused. Everything is a part of life, unfortunately or fortunately. So you need to be calm and trust the process, trust the universe, trust God. I don't know, trust yourself. So this is my way of handling.
Yes, Natalie, thank you. Danai.
For me, I will start from the failure, and I will tell you 2 things. One is that in many presentations I'm doing, I'm always using this slide and any other I want. I use this slide, fail as much as you can. Because the more you fail, the more you will succeed in your life. And it's always, I bring it together with risk. Because you know something, if you try and you fail, at least you say, I tried. So I risked. Otherwise, you say, if I have done this, and if I have done that, and if this, I mean, it's nice to risk and fail. It's nice to fail because you risked. And of course, slowly you will learn, because every failure has, because what I say also to my daughter is that when you fail, please understand why you failed. So an example I will give is that in biology, she does not like biology, although she's very good in maths, in science, she does not like biology. So she came very furious 6 months before, said, Mommy, I wrote only a 6 out of 10. I said, sorry, a 4 out of 10. I said, what do you want to read, to write? You don't study, you did not study. She said, don't worry, I will study and then I will write very good. So then she came after 3 months and said, Mommy, again, I don't like the teacher. Why? Because I studied and I wrote 6. I said, Diony, you will not cover everything in 2 months. So last month, she wrote a 7 out of 10. So slowly, she understood through her failures And she risked to study and she succeeded it. Another thing that I believe is that, and again I will use my daughter saying, when she was around 4 years old, so they were running into the school, nothing important, and she came back very happy, and she said, "Mommy, today we had a great day." Classic Greek mother, bravo! You were first. My daughter replied to me, and okay, then I understood that I'm also the old generation. Mommy, it does not matter what if I came first or second. It mattered that I ran. So it was very important, and you know the lessons are coming to us even from younger people than us. And this is something very important that I'm learning every day through, of course, the motherhood and the Yes Forum, that we don't know everything, and that it's very important to live it, to feel it, with what Natalia said, research and plan and strategy and deadlines. And I mean, all this, I mean, you have to have a deadline. It has the risk, has to have a deadline in order to see if it was a failure or a success. But we don't have this kind of thinking in Greece. In Greece, there is no deadline. We can work a project always. We can be university students in all our life. And now it's time that some things are changing. But yes, risk and failure are great. And the entrepreneur is this crazy human being that every day we have to convince the other people that what we think is logic, which is not most of the days. And this is why we change many, or sometimes in our lives, people around us, the teams, but we need also the team. We need the team. Without a team, you cannot succeed.
Let's leave aside the fear-driven approaches and adopt the trust-driven approaches in everything that we do. The messages actually that you deliver today are great. Just to tell you that I'm receiving WhatsApp messages from colleagues and friends who are attending, and everybody says this is a super interesting webinar, and actually they admire the passion of both of you. So thank you for that.
Maria, you chose very passionate women. This is a problem.
That's why, yes.
We could.
There was a reason behind that.
That's independently, Natalie and myself, we could have independent online events for many hours. So imagine
I want to say that exactly. I could actually discuss with you forever, but we have a deadline, as you said, also for that webinar. But okay, I will continue quickly. So what advice would you give women entrepreneurs about overcoming self-doubt in male-dominated industries? I also don't want to use female men, but the numbers show that in some cases. So in just a few words, what is the first advice that you would give to a woman entrepreneur surrounded by men in her work, in her industry? Natalie.
I don't know if Danai would like to go first, because I feel that I'm
Danai, please. Yes.
Okay, look, I am in a very male-dominated world.
Indeed, actually you are, yes.
And, you know, when you are in any world, you must have three, how can I say, characteristics in what you're doing. You must give a lot of love, a lot of justice, and a lot of frame, yes. I mean, to frame, it's not this word, I will find it because now my mind is stuck. If you are doing this in the maximum in what you are doing, there is no male or female. you will be respected, and you will, sometimes when we do this as women, it's you know, they are characterizing us as tough. For me, because I smile all the time, they're telling me, why you smile all the time? Many people are asking me, men, why you are so happy with what you're doing and you are smiling all the time? Yes, I do, and yes, it was not easy. Of course, we had challenges, but if you are finding what you love to do, you never work. So, and this happens even if the male are more than women. What I can say is that because I am working on empowering women, because I'm also empowered as myself through all these networks that I participate. I want to tell you that we do not support each other a lot. And this is why we're having this, we're not too many for many roles now. And now I was talking with a friend of mine that was telling me that we need women in the boards. And now I'm hearing that we have to be trained to get into the boards, because now the boards must have women. But I think that if we work with musts without disagreeing about having women in boards, because that you must have a woman, so we just have to find a woman in order to be in the board, I disagree. The women must be there because they want to be there. And now we have created so many initiatives that no woman can say that we're not there to help the maximum we can. But there is a big but. In Greece, we have to work a lot on the motherhood issues. I mean, yes, many things are happening, and the Ministry of Family, of Family Affairs, that is existing, is very important for Greece. It was very important to have a Ministry of Family Affairs, but we have to find the solution on where we leave the kid when he's sick half of the year, in the nursery or reception years. I mean, in the years when the kid is between 2 to 7 to 10, that you cannot leave a kid alone. Who is taking over when you cannot send the kid to a school? You are out of the office 1 week, and then you get sick and there is another week. So there are some issues that here in Greece, for example, this lady that is pregnant in our office, she does not know if she will be out of the office 4 months, is her first child, 4 months or a year, because she does not know if she will find the right person to be with her child. And I understand her. I mean, every Monday I was begging to the church for the lady to come on time and not tell me that she's leaving the job last minute or she's sick. But sometimes she was not sick. And somebody had to take care of the child. Fortunately, I had plan B and plan C, but now most of the grandmothers, grandfathers are working, and it is not possible to take care of the kids.
Natalie, your advice?
Exactly. I will concentrate on self-doubt and maybe turn the question a little bit, like, what advice would you give to a Black person, if you can say that, in 2025, about overcoming self-doubt in white people-dominated societies? And that could be a very good question for Martin Luther King. But he did, despite. So when I was young, in a very male-led family, my father's family were from the first industrialist in Greece. His company employed 350 men and almost 5 women. So that's the factory that I grew up with. And when I was taking over Freshline, and I was so passionate about Freshline, it was because it was a company made from a woman, founded by a woman for other women. And I still remember when I was because, well, in my father's family in general, women were just to have a family. That's it. So despite all that, that gave me strength. even when I took over Freshline, I asked him for a loan. That was like 20 years ago, and he said, "No, I will not give you a loan. I don't think you should be doing this. You're a woman." And actually, last year he was like, "Maybe I did you well. Maybe it was the best thing that I did that I didn't give you that loan because you became very persistent." So self-doubt to me is like cancer. You should get rid of it immediately. It doesn't matter who it comes from, who's doubting you, because it begins from doubt and then it becomes self-doubt, and it's like a poison. So again, I will say we need to focus, create a support group. I mean, surround yourself from the people who believe in you, who will support you, who will lift you up when you're down, when you're failing, when you think you will not be able. And that doesn't and this is what I always, this is my favorite story to tell when I go to the university, because I work a lot with well, the old ASOE, which is now the Economic Athens University. I think. I'm sorry. And this is what I always tell young people, because I think that the children and the youngers in Greece, exactly like I said before, they're facing an ageism. So, and they're doubting themselves. So self-doubt is like cancer. Immediately you take it off the table, you take it out of your mind, and create a support group and focus on your work. Again, I will say, do the work, play by the rules, be honest, stay true, be respectful, even to those who doubt you, and ignore the noise. Just keep on going. That's it.
Great, very
Especially
motivational.
when you're driven by your why. I mean, if your why is important, if your why is true at heart, nothing will ever stop you.
Great.
That's,
Thank you. Thank you for that.
I think.
But I'm sure you must have got tough times, as we also said before. So how do you stay motivated? And what's your mantra for success? And I would also like to link that with how would you actually mentor and empower the next generation of women leaders? Dana, do you want to start?
If I can start, is that I managed to fail a lot. I managed to have many personal failures when I was young. I mean, in the decade 20 to 30, I have, when I discuss with young people, I tell them between the age 20 to 30, try to do as many jobs as you can, have as many friends as you can, be in contact with as many people as you can. So try to find what you like to do. Then 30 to 40, you have to find it and work on it. After 40, you must start earning money in combination of having a team with you. I mean, to have created the basic team that you want to cooperate. After 50, okay, you have to continue creating, but start also mentoring and bringing back to the society the knowledge you have got. Εντάξει, after 60, 70, of course, you have also to enjoy life, your family, your grandchildren, and see what you have done in your life, read books. Now we say that we do, but we don't. Okay, I don't know how many newspapers I keep aside, and I think that if I'm alive, I will read them when I will become 80 years old, seeing what happened before. I believe that also another important thing is that to have people around you that they are also positive thinking, to get away the toxic people, the toxic people, they're toxic for you. I mean, it's the chemistry. I don't say that the toxic people that are not good for me are toxic for everybody. For somebody else may be the greatest person in the world. With me, the chemistry may not be the right one. Also, the people that they overanalyze. Too much analysis brings paralysis. Let's be with people. They do things. I mean, they are analyze, and the women. We have many jokes. to analyze how many things the women will overanalyze during the day. And I'm sure that all of us, we have heard about the joke of the diary, comparing the diary of a day's woman and the diary of a man's, the diary of a man's day and of a woman's day. Okay, and there is a great video that I can send you also, Maria, to see about the women's and the men's brain. I just say that the men's brain is boxes. No box is touching the other box. Each box is for a specific reason. The women's brain is full of wires. All the wires are connected to all the wires. So what I mean is that we have different way of thinking and doing things. And this is why we must not compare our things with men. We are different, differently made. So there is no reason to compare. And this is why I do not accept men's and women entrepreneurship. I don't see female entrepreneurship because it's different than the men's entrepreneurship. We empower women because there are women all over the world in many countries that they don't have the same rights in voting and education. This is why personally I fight. I fight for these women that I see their eyes blocked in clothes that I don't believe that these eyes that they don't have the right in voting and education are happy like free people. We need peace, and women are bringing peace into this world, and this is why I'm happy to see women in leadership, although of course nobody is perfect except the captain, we say in Greece, in shipping, but things are not going always like we want. So yes, and as I started also to close with this, always see the positive side even in negative and bad days, and bring around you people that they are thinking like you, connect with the same people, create kids, have families. It's important to have families. It's important to create the next generation. I respect the people that they don't want to, but if we do not have kids, who will continue this world? So to pass this knowledge, and with Natalia, she's younger than me, but I think that we will have great times when we become older by walking and laughing and discussing and having, of course, money and the teams to continue what we have started by mentoring and by watching, because at a certain point we have to stop and watch from, let's say, not from high, but from outside the game, what you have created and how the theater is playing without you as an actor or an actress.
Thank you very much for this. And I will now proceed with the last question because we have still 5 minutes. What is your vision for the future of women entrepreneurship in Greece? And what policies or initiatives do you believe would make the biggest impact in supporting women-led businesses in Greece? And here, just to mention that we in the Hellenic Development Bank have created and have already launched a new financial tool, which is called Microfinance Fund, and it has a special focus on women entrepreneurship. We will actually, in another webinar, we will present it in more detail, but I wanted to mention that because we also see the need, and we also want to highlight the support for women empowerment. Danai, please, your opinion about policy or initiatives.
I have already said, very quick, schools, more specific networks. Apologies to say that I'm hearing all these 15 years, a lot of money being invested in empowering women entrepreneurs and women in general. Unfortunately, Greece remains last. So we have to bring strategies and to put deadlines, and you are representing a very important association or organization to bring some results, and also with this program, but to bring some results that we can see who will be these women that will get money? In I4U, who can show you these women? I want to see the women that they succeed. I want to see the new role models, not the same and the same, including myself in many cases. We want to see the next generation. We want to see what these programs bring, because the results are showing that we're still last. So schools, programs, networks, results.
Just to say that indeed results are very important, and this is also what we do here, and it's important to spread the message, because sometimes there are things in the market like our programs, which, for example, for women entrepreneurship provide 75% interest-free financing, but people don't know. So we also need you to help as ambassadors, if I could say that. And of course, we're also here for you to help you in spreading the word about what you do and about the success that you have, aiming at creating more motivations for women to start or develop their businesses. And Natalie, also your opinion about policies or initiatives in short?
Well, I think that policies are very important. We need to have more access to funding. I will say that we need to have better systemic support from the government. I think in 2030, in 2040, my vision for Greece is for a woman not to have to choose between family and career. But this, I mean, policies we can have, initiatives we can have, and we need to push. The good thing is that as time goes by, we get more women in leading roles, like the second elect of Melina Travlos. We had Sofia Emvremoglu. We're continuing having. So I think that the government and like the Hellenic Investment Bank is having special programs. Endeavor was running a special program for female-led companies. So we need to push to have more and more. And I would say, because considering the last question, because I didn't have the chance to give my opinion, it is very important to create a community, create a new a future where both male and female are together and they're building together. And it's not about pushing against male, against men. It's pushing together to increase the togetherness, I will say, because we've been divided a lot. And I think in order to have a good future, we need to build the together, we need to build the unity, and that will work and bring more programs, more support. The government will listen more, hopefully. So I understand that not many companies can have 85% women working, like Freshline, but at least take it up to 50. So
in Navigator, we're also 90%.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. You're a stellar example, actually, of women entrepreneurship.
I think cannot be around us as we are so many women. I think it's a lot of energy around, power.
A lot of passion.
okay,
I will now proceed with two questions from the participants. First of all, can we share your emails with the participants? Because we have a question from Mrs. I don't see the name. Anyway, but can we share your emails?
Yes, no problem. And with
Okay.
I4U, it's the info@i4u.gr, and I4U can be found also in the website. But of course, you can also share my mail to guide them accordingly.
Okay, just tell me which email we should share with the participants, and we will share.
Mail we can give to anybody. I don't have any problem with this. And if I don't reply anything, of course, you can send me also in the social media if something is not coming or just a spam.
And I have also a question for you, Danai. How can we participate in the I4U seminars? So in the seminars that you do.
It's just somebody, if somebody wants to participate, they must become friends of I4U. It's 50 euro per year. It's just a typical amount for the commitment, let's say, of what's going on.
Membership.
And because after the seminars, we will also work further to see what we can further do.
Super. Thank you very much for this. I have to tell you that actually we tend to do informative webinars, but that was not only an informative one, but a motivational one. And thank you very much for this. I hope that we'll have again the opportunity to have such a wonderful, fruitful, and inspiring discussion. Thank you for being with us today. And good luck with all the work that you do and all the initiatives that you take to enhance and to empower women around us. Thank you.
Thank you a lot. We think, Maria, that you took the risk and it was a success finally, not a failure. So thank you very much.
Indeed.
Very
Thank you.
good.
Bye.
Thank you.
Natalia. Bye.
Thank you
Maria.
very much. Thank you.